So the San Francisco 49ers will go up to Lambeau. Great win from them. They will play the Green Bay Packers next week. They pull off the upset against the Dallas Cowboys. Fascinating game. Also, yes, gotta mention, we're using the CBS stuff, not the Nickelodeon stuff on this video. Sorry, I couldn't find a way to record the Nickelodeon version, so gotta stick with the CBS stuff, but I think you'll manage. Anyways, wild game. Let's talk about what happened. So right off the bat, we did see some glimpses from both teams, in fact. Like, let's start off with San Francisco, where one of the things that we saw was, and quite frankly, this play is why, going into this game, I predicted San Francisco to win, was because of plays like this. It's going to be zone coverage. You have Brandon Ayuk running over the middle. Dan Quinn has always liked to run a lot of cover 3 zone, which is the coverage you see on the screen. That's not all he'll do, but that's a good chunk of what he'll do. And this year he's mixed it up a bit, but this is still the coverage they run more than anything else. And watch how when Shanahan's going to run a play action, and it's just a quick play action, kind of a half-hearted play action, really. But you see linebackers step in because Dallas does play a very aggressive defense. They do get fooled on these play actions. And now at this point, if you're a corner, I mean, what can you do? You can't be expected to cover 3 yards into the play. You just can't. Ayuk on this one is just completely wide open. This is an easy throw for Garoppolo to make. However, on top of it, good throw from Garoppolo to allow Brandon Ayuk to pick up as many yards as possible, and they get the first down. So stuff like that, they were able to get some of these easy completions, these schemed up completions. This is kind of what Shanahan has made a living doing, is stuff like this, and it really worked out on a play like that. So that's a great example of, I think I even said at one point, like, I think that this is the exact concept I see San Francisco having success against Dallas with. Another exact thing I said was something like this, where I'm thinking about, on this play, it's going to be a one-on-one matchup with Diggs and Brandon Ayuk. Ayuk is running a route over the middle, which is something that, San Francisco likes to do a lot. These kind of things San Francisco is a big fan of. This is a big part of their offense, are these crossing routes over the middle. And so this is something you have to be prepared for if you're Diggs. Watch how right when this play begins, you see that it's not horrible coverage from Diggs. I mean, is there a potential chance for this to be a completion? Sure, I could see that. Garoppolo could make this throw and it could be complete. And so Diggs is trying to make sure he gets back. And the reality is, Diggs is just someone who, when there's a second move on a play, he's struggled. He has. So the first route seemed pretty simple. He can do a good enough job to cover this route. And also part of the thing about Diggs is you kind of don't want to try him in this spot, because if you miss, he could get an interception. However, when Ayuk then cuts further deep down the field, you see he just gets completely wide open on this play. Diggs sort of trails behind him. So something like that is not ideal. You'd have liked to see him not get beat like that. But again, this is something that, not to toot my own horn too much, but I think I literally said during my preview that I suspect that Brandon Ayuk will get Trayvon Diggs with a double move at some point in this game, and that's what happened. And it's not really that surprising if you watch just these two styles. On paper, very good matchup for San Francisco. And on top of this, Brandon Ayuk's going to make the grab, and he's going to be able to run and pick up even more yards after the catch. So really good stuff from Ayuk, and good offensive line play as well to just allow the play to develop as long as it did. And hey, good throw by Garoppolo, finding the open guy, right? Everything's working for San Francisco on plays like these. On the flip side, listen, we saw some consistency issues with Dallas, but we did see on occasion kind of what we thought could work with Dallas work as well, which is they just have a lot of talented players. And when you have talent, that is going to win out at times, especially wide receiver talent. This is about as simple as it gets. This is just a true one-on-one matchup. The safety help will not get over there. This is simply Dallas saying, hey, we think our guy can be better than your guy. This is J1 Williams trying to take on Amari Cooper here. It's a favorable matchup for Dallas. Anytime you see stuff like this is definitely where you want to throw the ball to. And this is something, podcast co-host Kyle said, well, how is San Francisco going to be able to cover these guys? And the answer is, listen, when it's one-on-one matchups, more often than not, I mean, we'll talk about the interception in a second, but more often than not, you can have some success doing this kind of stuff. Watch, I mean, as you see, just a, really good route ran by Amari Cooper, and you look at how, basically, first thing to look at is Williams and see how his back is turned towards the quarterback. That's a great situation because now Cooper can play the ball, whereas Williams kind of can't. He kind of has to just cover up as much ground as he can because if you look back and the ball isn't coming, Cooper can adjust to the ball, whereas you can't, and that just makes things a lot more difficult. You have to cover someone else, so that's the advantage for the wide receiver. And also, as you see, just a beautiful throw and a great catch from Amari Cooper. So all of that stuff worked out really well, and you did see some flashes of this stuff. The issue was really just consistency. When this play happened, I'm not going to lie, I thought it was just over. I thought this was going to be it, especially when the next play would be a 49er touchdown where it's going to be zone coverage. This is what we're seeing a lot of from San Francisco, a quarters coverage. So Dallas in a 2nd and 28 here, they're just going to try and gain some yards. Look at how right when this play begins, honestly, this isn't too open. I mean, I guess what Prescott is throwing for is trying to get sort of closer towards the right of the screen. That's where he's trying to hit. You throw it low, it either falls incomplete or gets knocked away as long as your receiver is on the same page, but your receiver has to be on the same page. Granted, this is also a great play, and I mean, look at that. Just a great read to get down and make the interception. That would set up a touchdown, which would put them up big here and kind of made you think, okay, well, it's over. San Francisco is winning. Of course, that's not quite so simple. That's not exactly how it would go down. This play was really the oh my God, are they about to blow it type of play for San Francisco, where really, you don't have to break down the entire play because it's going to kind of be a broken play to begin with. Watch how when Garoppolo takes the snap, he's going to end up scrambling outside the pocket right here. And in this moment, you can see who you should hit, right? You can see over the middle the one receiver who is on the screen, and it's not like there's someone right off screen who's covering him. This is an open play to gain some yards. Are you going to gain a ton of yards? Probably not, but you could gain, I don't know, 5 to 7 yards or so, set up a 3rd down and manageable. However, Garoppolo just overthrows this, and overthrows it by a lot too, which results in it getting intercepted, that's just not a great throw from Garoppolo. There's no really other way to describe it other than just a bad throw from Garoppolo. So that's not great. You're giving Dallas the ball back now, and at this point, they're only down 13, so a touchdown can make it a 1-score game. We then saw Dallas drive and have a good one, where honestly, I thought that with Dallas, it wasn't a lot of play concepts working well. It was kind of more so just Prescott making some good plays. I thought that's what happened. Prescott obviously had the rushing touchdown, but prior to that, this was one of the better throws we've seen of this postseason. It's going to be a cover 3 zone. You see where a receiver is going to try and get into a gap in coverage, but it might not get wide open. Watch how right when this play begins, it's actually Fred Warner this is the play before Fred Warner got injured, making a great read on this and getting over and trying to knock this away. This is a tight window to get the ball to CeeDee Lamb right here. You're going to have to throw this one perfectly. As you see, that's what Prescott does right there. Just a beautiful throw to help set up the touchdown and help make a game of it when it seemed like this was not going to be a game whatsoever. All of a sudden, it's now a 6-point game. And then we got to talk about this play. I mean, this was just a dagger where it's 4th down and 11, and if you can convert here, you have a really good chance because look at where you're at in the field. You're in their territory. On this situation, don't worry about the circle, that's the broadcast situation here. But this is going to be an all-out blitz. I mean, San Francisco just setting the house and saying, hey, we trust that, you're going to have to throw one up. We trust our guys can make a single play, and that's what we're going to try and do here. And if it burns us, it burns us, which is a gutsy call because if this doesn't work out, they would have gotten crushed for this play call. Prescott's going to take the snap, and maybe one critique is, I don't know if he had to wait this long to throw it. The blitz is there. You could have maybe tried to throw it a little bit earlier. And because of this, you see that he has to throw off balance, and Cedric Wilson is just wide open. I mean, it's the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. Look at how open he is, and he's currently backpedaling because he got so far open. This could have easily been a go-ahead touchdown in the final 2 minutes. Do you want to blame Dak? Do you want to blame Wilson for not being able to come through? You could also credit San Francisco for surprising them with the play call. Any of those things, I think, is fair. However, as you see, it's just too far to the inside. Still could have maybe been caught. I mean, that was super close, but wasn't close enough. And San Francisco held on to win. Big win for them. They move on to play Green Bay, who they've had success with in the postseason historically in the Aaron Rodgers era. So should be fascinating. But yeah, that's what I thought of this game. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. What are your thoughts? Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.